Alright guys, let's do a bow and then let's get running round.
Yes, good hustle, keep it going.
Are we listening? Are we listening?
Alright, Root.
Here we are, again.
Back again. What episode is this?
This is now 25? Because we had to redo
it's more
24.
than that.
Is it? We've just redone 24.
I thought we'd just redone 25.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Like I said before, I love the fact we're losing count.
Yeah.
It's going to be... We need to keep an eye on it, because I think episode 100, we need to sort of do something for. And we need to keep an eye on...
Episode 50 as well.
Yeah, true. We like round numbers as humans, don't we?
Yeah, episode 37 is a big one.
And also, like, I think it's the 3rd of October was when we started. So when it's a year old, we need some sort of a...
Big party.
Big party, yeah.
Big guest.
Yeah. Yes, big guest.
Yeah.
Get some poppers in, you know, to see what happens.
See what happens. See where the podcast takes us.
Yeah, no, that's just that. It's just disinfectant. Just go with it. It's fine. That's fine. Just no.
Big huff.
Yeah. That's it. I can't smell it. Can you smell it again? Sorry
about that. On one of our many lost episodes,
man.
we touched on we were kind of talking about belt expectations. Was it definitely on a lost episode?
I think so. Do you know one thing before we start? I think there's a few firsts, isn't there? Oh, there's certainly one. Like, so normally we do these episodes after training, don't we? And we've got a big Baffled sandwich. Shout out to Baffled once again.
Yeah,
please sponsor us and give us free sandwiches.
Yeah, please.
This episode we're early in the morning, aren't we? Because we can't do Friday, and we're before training. And
we want Baffled. We're probably going to get one on the way to training. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. But it feels weird, doesn't it? You know.
It's habit, isn't it? This is so interesting, and you can reflect on this. Is that book by... I want to say it's James Clear, but it might not be. But it's about atomic habits.
Okay.
And you read it, and it'll just kind of, it's like a collection of like little like light bulb moments where you're just like, fuck, you know, I just didn't even realize. But like, things get attached to two things. It's just, am I explaining? Do you get it?
That's so insightful.
Do you get it? So let me give you an example to explain. We come into the garage to do the podcast, and every week we have a Baffled.
Yeah.
So now when I come into the garage, and now we're recording a podcast.
And your body's going like, where's the... Okay.
I really fancy a Baffled, but I don't fancy a Baffled. I've had breakfast. It's fucking 10 in the morning. I don't need a Baffled. I'm not even hungry. But the habit of coming into the garage and recording a podcast is stacked with having a Baffled.
Yeah.
And you can probably reflect on this throughout your life. Like, you know, you'll probably go into certain rooms and you'll notice that you'll want to do the same thing, or you will be doing the same thing every time you go into that room.
Well, creatures of habit. It's just like this morning, all I've had inside me is a coffee and a banana. That sounds wrong. But what I mean is I've eaten a banana.
A coffee enema and a banana butt plug.
It works.
Gets you up.
Lovely clear out before you go on the mats. Yes, what I mean is I've eaten a banana alone. It's a good start so far.
Try that start to your day. That's Steve's morning routine.
Poppers and
coffee,
and a coffee
enema and a butt plug with a banana.
Yep. You feel light as a feather when you get on there, I'll tell you that.
Andrew Huberman's morning routine has got nothing on that.
Come on.
Nothing.
He's probably listening thinking, fuck me.
I've been doing it wrong.
Yeah. Studies have shown, Andrew.
Actually, I'm going to do a complete rewind on that. Not that.
Right. Let's talk about it more.
Doing that. But we should answer those questions that got sent in last week.
Oh, so there was the... Oh, man.
First one.
Did you send them to me?
I can't remember who sent it in. Did I send them to you?
Yeah, it was
Can
Dan.
you just have a look?
It's Big Dan.
He sent one in. Yeah.
It was about Nate Diaz.
Yeah, did we answer that though? Or was that on one of the missing?
It was one of the missing ones.
Yeah, well, the other one I'm going to answer first because I think we can sort of tell a bit of our story. It was I can't remember who sent it in. Just check that.
I don't think you sent it to me. Okay. On the Jits podcast.
Yeah, because I screenshotted it, but I might not have sent it to you because that's the sort of thing I do. Half a job. But whoever sent it in, thank you. And it was about how do you get the confidence to do BJJ, basically. Or it might have been how did you get the confidence to start BJJ, something like that.
No, he didn't.
No, so... And yeah, my initial thought was like, oh, fucking stop being a pussy. Like, come on, just fucking do it. But then I was like, actually, my first, I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast, I think I might have, was my first I got into jiu-jitsu just by watching YouTube videos, smoking a lot of weed and just watching YouTube videos. And like, it was, getting into mixed martial arts, watching like the start of Anderson Silva's career and like GSP, that sort of era, and getting into it like when it was like on Spike,
Spike TV,
or Bravo, it might have been before that. I'm not sure. And then YouTube was sort of kicking off. So watching stuff on YouTube, learning about the Gracies, going down the rabbit hole of YouTube videos all about the Gracies and stuff like that, and really sort of getting into it and just looking at it and being like, man, this is the best martial art. Like this is sick. Really wanting to do it. I was just started using the gym at the time. I was probably 70 kilos wet through, just like a fucking noodle. Stoned every time I went to the gym, probably in my early 20s. And there was a jiu-jitsu class at the gym. I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what are the chances of that? Like, that's mental. So I went along to it on like a Wednesday, I think it was. And Colin was there. Weirdly, like, this is just total coincidence that Colin was running that class, and later now I'm coaching under Colin. Like that. So that was just a weird coincidence.
Crazy.
And he's like, yeah, he gave me the option of watching the class. Like, you can get involved or you can watch. And like, I was a little bit intimidated, stoned, as I've mentioned 3 times. So I took the option of watching the class. Like, so, You probably saw that I was just shitting myself.
Yeah.
Probably could see I was stoned. So I sat there and watched this class, and there must have been about like, I don't know, 8 guys there. And I looked at them and just thought, they're all fucking bouncers.
Massive dudes. Yeah.
Just aggressive looking guys. That, like, what am I going to do with these guys? Like, they're just going to mess me up. Like, some of them are actually probably my training partners now, who've been with Colin for a long time. One of them's probably, I reckon one of them was Neil. I remember they were doing wrestling, and they were in like no-gi attire, and they were doing like single legs. And I reckon one of them was Neil. And if you look at Neil, he's not like the tallest of guys, but he's an intimidating character.
He's thick.
He's thick, and he's like cauliflower ears and stuff. And I remember just thinking, like, I can't do anything to any of these guys. I'm going to be shit. Like, I'm terrified. Like, I don't want to get involved. So I didn't have the confidence, and I didn't get involved. And I think I left before the end of the class, or maybe I stayed to the end of the class and then left and sort of, I'll come back, and and just never went back. And then fast forward, like, probably a couple of years, 5-6 years, and a friend of mine who was like a bit like nerdy, a bit sort of weedy. He did traditional martial arts. He did Wing Chun. Right. Which I'd kind of messed around with a bit. Like, I'd never been to a class, but our mate was a black belt in it, and he like gave us a few lessons a few times. And I used to smoke and stuff like that. And every time we did it, I was just gassing. But it was cool. Like, and it was quite like mystical, wasn't it? Like, like all that sort of stuff. It's like traditional martial art. Like, so I knew he was doing that, but then he was like, I've started doing jiu-jitsu. Like, we were at the pub, and I was like, fucking, that's sick, because I've been watching it like avidly, like really into it for like 5-6 years. And I was like, if he can do it, I can fucking do it. And like, I've been using the gym a bit by that point. And so I kind of like, and I've been watching this. We're always like drunk wrestling around. I'm like, I think I'm probably quite good. So I'd kind of built the confidence just through drunk wrestling, being a bit more muscular because I've been using the gym, and knowing in my head, I could beat this guy up. I could beat him up. Like, he was like a nerd. Like, there's no way I'm not beating this guy up. If he can do it, I'm fucking going down there and I'm going to smash him. Like, reality is, he probably would have beat the fuck out of me. Because actually, he was like, I remember we tried to do a bit of like wrestling on the beach before I kind of found out that he did jiu-jitsu. And I was like, I was like the jiu-jitsu guy, even though I've never done a class.
Because you're into it.
Because I'm into it. And he was like the Wing Chun guy. And I was trying to shoot like a double leg takedown, but I just couldn't get near him. And he kept like he was just good at managing distance and stuff. Anyway, went and did the class with him, and just, I've heard a few people say this since actually, but like, I was just like, this is it. Yeah. This is it. I'm in. Like, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Like, this is fucking amazing. The fact that we can come down here and do this, and like, it's just so good. Yeah. Like, and I think he's stopped training since then. Like, but like that first class, I was shitting myself. Yeah. Like, and I see that in people now who come and do the class, and they'll say to me like, they're like, their view of themselves within the world has been completely eroded, and they're just like, oh yeah, but I can't do anything. Like, they're in their sparring, they come off the mat, and they're like, yeah, but it's like nothing's working. Yeah. Like, you show me the moves, but like none of them are working. Like, And I'm like, yeah, mate,
Just give
it's
it
your
time.
first class.
Yeah,
You're shit.
Yeah, basically you have to, and
Which is fine.
It's
Don't
so
worry about
healthy
it. No
to
one
kinda-
expects you to win.
Yeah,
then
but
that's fine.
It is. It's such a good thing to just be shit at something and think, oh, I'm not as like.
Your view on how
important.
hard you are suddenly gone.
Totally. It's
Yeah,
such a
yeah.
leveler. You know, you get police. We get police in. We get probably law. You know, here he goes again. Lawyers, tradesmen, builders, bouncers. You know, and all that matters when you're rolling is your prowess on the mat, isn't it? It doesn't matter where you come from in terms of when you're rolling. I mean.
Yeah.
And you're going to start. Everyone starts at the bottom. You know, I mean, I had a little bit of martial arts experience going in when I'd done like 4 years of kickboxing, but it's like most of it, other than footwork, I guess, wasn't relevant. You know, to jiu-jitsu, and I guess cardio. I had good cardio because I'd been doing like, kickboxing and stuff. But
What made you want to go and do jiu-jitsu?
it was so you know what our gym's like. There's lots of different classes going on at the same time, and the kickboxing class would go on, I think it was like on a Monday, and we'd finish, I did it throughout the week, but the Monday class particularly, it was a double, I'd do a double, and then we'd finish, and then the jiu-jitsu class, everyone would be lining up in their gis around the mat, and then as I was getting changed and stuff, and you'd come out and you'd see them all doing it, and then I think there was another class during the week where the kickboxing class was after it, and so you'd spend your time just for the first 10 minutes when you're ready, you watch them, I'm just watching these guys in pairs in knots. And I was just like, I don't even know what's going on. I can tell that they're resisting each other, and there's a flurry of arms and legs. But like, and then I was intrigued by it. I was like, what? And then I'll go to like Gareth and Brian's show, Shock and Awe. Shout out to Shock and Awe. And I'd go to those shows, and I'd understand all the striking to enough to watch it. And I'd be like, okay. And then they'd go on the ground, and I'd be like, I don't know what they're doing. And I'd be watching UFC as well, listening to the commentary. I guess I was learning some stuff from that, positions and whatever. Joe Hogan. And but like I said before, there'd be times when everyone would start clapping. I'd be like, oh, someone's won. I don't know what's happened, but
they've just stopped. What's happened? He's like finished the guillotine or something.
Yeah, and it's all. And I was just like, this. I've got to figure out. I want to have a go at this and figure out what it is. And again, I've said before, like, when I sat first down and there was another white belt who'd been there a little bit longer than me, and he was like, oh, your legs are like your guard. You kind of wraps people up with your guard. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. I've never known that, you know.
What was that? Can you remember the first round, the first roll you ever did?
Yeah, it was horrible.
You just get smashed.
It got absolutely smashed. But I remember going forward from that, that's probably quite spazzy, using a lot of strength.
Yeah,
you know.
Big time.
Yeah, I remember there was this fella called Grant at the time, and he was bigger than me, but I remember he was a similar kind of like just using strength kind of guy, and we would start around and we would just lock like stags, like, just and you know, and it would be a case of who could like use the weight against themselves. But it was just, I was fucked at the end of every round because it was just pure strength. But at the same time, I finished, I'd be like, this is awesome. I'll be driving home thinking, this is... And I think there was a little bit of a crossover from kickboxing to jiu-jitsu for me. I thought I was there was probably a period where I was doing a bit of both.
Yeah.
And then it just bled into just me doing jiu-jitsu. I just thought, this is kind of... love this.
Do you know what, like... I wouldn't say like I'm naturally good at jiu-jitsu. Some people you're like, man, they're really good. But like on that first lesson, I mostly rolled with other people that were like brand new or like had only been doing it a short amount of time. So probably like highest was like, they don't do stripes at that gym, but like let's say they're equivalent of like a 2-stripe white belt. And I felt like I was like holding my own.
Yeah.
Probably just through like spazziness and like watching jiu-jitsu. And one of the guys, he was a bit smaller than me, Danny, shout out. I remember he said like, oh, have you like wrestled or like you done anything like that? And I was like, no, just like drunk wrestling. Like I'm pretty good at drunk wrestling. He was like, oh yeah, you're like doing really well. And like I think that like really helped me be like, this is for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm good at this already.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm naturally good at this. Maybe not. Wasn't necessarily consciously having those thoughts. But I think someone going like, oh, you're doing really well. It's like your first lesson, like you're doing really well. Was like really like, oh.
Boost you
cool,
up.
I can do this.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I've not really thought about that until this point, really. But like, that's an interesting thing, I suppose, from a more experienced person to come to like a complete newbie and be like, no, mate, like I know like you're shit because it's your first lesson, but for your first lesson, you're doing really well. Like, keep going.
Yeah.
Like that can have a big impact on someone. Can't
Definitely.
it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I always try and do that with new students. Is to try and with my music as well, but also like on a Wednesday when there's newbies and stuff, you just. Oh, you got that bit, bang on. That was the best one, or whatever. Just give me, because it does mean a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I think,
yeah. And you forget, like the further in your jiu-jitsu journey, you forget about all these little things, what it's like to be a beginner. But like, someone, I think going back to what you were saying, how do I get the confidence to do it? I think me going with my mate, who I thought I could probably beat up if it came down to it, was helpful because that gave me the confidence. Oh, if he's doing it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And now, like the jiu-jitsu culture is so good because you've got every manner of different person on the mat. You've got little nerdy guys, you've got women, you've got older men and women doing it.
Big
like,
meathead guys.
It's not just the scary looking people. You look around the mat, you line them up, you're like, I could take that guy. I could take that guy. I could beat her up. I could, you know what I mean? Obviously, you're not thinking like that, but you're thinking, if these people can do it, I can do it.
It's like that thing from The Office where you're not getting fired. It's like, I can beat that guy. I can beat that guy. You know, I can beat that.
She's probably going to kick my ass. But like, it gives you confidence, doesn't it?
It
if
does.
they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
It's not like you're looking at these people being like, oh my god.
Because it's not a body type thing, is it? Like if you're if you're a shot putter, or a weightlifter, power lifter, there's one body type that works. Just get fucking big.
Yeah.
You know, whereas I think there's so many different body types that are really good at jiu-jitsu, even right to the world class level, right?
Yeah. And there was a guy actually. He's a funny dude, but anyway, he was at the class on Friday and he was watching a girl and a guy roll, and they're both quite new, but the girl's more experienced, and the other guy she was rolling with was like almost brand new, and she was just tooling him up, like getting on his back, like stuff like that. And the guy next to me said like, "Oh, that's a bit embarrassing, isn't it, getting beaten by a girl?" To be fair, this guy's like probably got fairly decent autism.
Touch of the tism.
Sort of.
Yeah, okay.
No, more than a touch. Like he's sort of quite childlike.
He's been doused.
I don't want to like be offensive, but like he's obviously got a younger mental age than his actual age.
Okay.
So I said to him, I was like, it's not embarrassing getting beaten up by a girl. Like if she's better than you, she's better than you. Yeah. There are going to be women out there that would smash me.
Yeah, therein lies one of the big lessons.
And that's just the way it goes, and that's cool.
It's totally cool.
I mean?
It's cool. It gives you, if you're thinking about it right, and you're not letting your ego get in the way, it just gives you a deeper respect for this art.
For the art,
it's essentially, it is the person that's beating you, but it's also the jiu-jitsu's beating you. Yeah. You know, it's, I think Cole said this before, but it's like, neither of us won. Jiu-jitsu won, you know? Jiu-jitsu won.
Yeah, I spoke to one of the students last night, and I was in the sauna with him, and he's looking good as well. He said that in his first lesson, he had a similar experience to me where he's like, yeah, this is it. And it's because he got like manhandled by a woman. Yeah. And he was like,
this is a superpower.
I've got to learn this. Like,
to quote Jocko Willink, it fucking is a superpower if you're using it right, isn't it?
And if you come in like a bit of a bloke, like, no woman could take me out. And then a woman like 30 kilos lighter than you is just like
30 kilo brown belt.
And you're just like,
yeah. Fuck.
I need to learn this.
There's only so far you can be like, well, it's because of X, Y, and Z. It's like, okay, she's tapped you 5 times.
She's tapped you 5 times, mate, in different way every time. Yeah. And she's barely broken.
And she's not even, exactly. She's not even out of breath, and you're purple, right? I think it was like, it was for me, it was a crossover. I mean, not that I still love kickboxing and all the striking arts as well, but I think it was just, I've said this before, but like striking is, I guess like my 6-year-old can throw a punch and throw a kick, but like everything you learn, you're a fish out of water with every part of grappling, aren't you? Other than like grabbing someone's collar and pulling them or something like that. Every move, every sequence, everything, you don't naturally. It's unnatural in a way, isn't it?
You see.
No, not unnatural. It's the wrong term.
No, but I know what you're saying. So think about it like this: if I said to Casper, my 3-year-old, throw a punch, he'd throw a punch.
Yeah,
he's got a bloody good overhand.
I can imagine he has
really hard. And if I said to him again, right, throw another punch, he'd throw it. Throw another punch. He could repeatedly do that, and he could follow my instruction. Yeah. Now, if I just got him and Louis to wrestle, within the melee of them wrestling, there's going to be some good stuff. Yeah. He's going to get an underhook. He's going to limp arm his arm out, and he's going to jump on his back and get his hooks in. But if I said, like, oh, limp arm your arm out, he's just looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? Get an underhook.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, jump on his back and get your hooks in. Like,
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like, it's not natural. There's no formula to it.
Yeah.
Throw a punch. Everyone knows. You just get that hand. You just smack it into their face.
Yeah.
Like, so it's. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
everything's technical. Like, I'm sure if you gave some sort of technical name for a different sort of punch that like kickboxers know about, like he's not going to be like, oh yeah, I know what that is. Like, even if I said to him, throw an uppercut, he doesn't know what that is. But like punching and kicking is. You know, as a baby, no, don't punch and kick, don't punch. We're like putting that language into their. They're just doing it from. Literally, you're changing their nappy. No, don't kick, because they're waving their legs around. They know what that is from like early doors. You're not saying like, oh no, don't stop collar tying me, stop collar tying me.
But you
should be saying that.
But do you think? So that's a good point. Maybe a big part of it is cultural. I wonder what it's like in Brazil. You know, or like
but there's grappling everywhere. Isn't there?
Yeah,
You know
I'm
what I mean?
just
It's not
using.
Brazil,
No, I'm
there's
just using.
grappling literally in every country.
Yeah, I guess I'm just using Brazil as the example, but maybe some of it is a little bit more cultural. Of like they grow up listening to those using those words, like you say. Maybe because, as you say, if you watch two gorillas fighting or two bears, they sometimes they're getting underhooks or they. Do you know what I mean? So I guess in that sense it is natural.
But
they don't know that they're doing that.
Yeah, that's. I guess the point I'm making is like. They're not doing it intentionally. Like when you do a kicking and punching match, you know the kicking and punching hurts the other person. That's how you're going to win. When you do a grappling match, if you don't know anything about grappling, you don't understand necessarily the impact of where you're putting your arms and your legs. To a degree, I know if I squeeze him with my arms around his waist, like that's going to do something.
Yeah.
But you don't fully understand the impact of that.
No.
Like so, I think, and I know you don't fully understand it. But like, it's a bit easier to understand the punching and the kicking stuff from a built-in sort of thing. Like,
and the subs particularly, you have to learn every single one of them. Do you know what I mean?
You'll work them out. I mean, we're getting into the ecological debate here, but you'll work them out eventually. But like, you know,
It's a lot of error for that trial, isn't there? I mean, that's.
But yeah, I can't even remember how we got started with this, but
It was how'd you get into jiu-jitsu?
Yeah,
that was the question.
So I guess the confidence.
How'd you get the confidence?
I think the confidence for me was literally just that there was someone doing it that I thought I could probably take.
Yeah.
And so that gave me the confidence that okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
There's people like me there.
Yeah, I guess, and for me, I think I already had the confidence because I'm good friends with Gareth, the head kickboxing coach, and I just thought, well, this is already my gym, so I can just transfer over. And I deliberately kind of, I didn't want any special treatment or anything. I wanted to be the new guy.
Yeah.
I wanted to go in and just because they're two very separate teams, aren't they? The kickboxing team and there's very little in the way of like crossover apart from the MMA guys that do a bit of
but you whether you do this or not, and I don't really do it, like maybe I did when I was a bit less experienced but not now. When someone transfers in from another team, if there's a kickboxer who's there like, oh yeah, I'm going to try jiu-jitsu, there are some white belts who are like,
yeah, totally.
I'm going to show this guy.
Fresh meat.
He's going to get fucked up. This ain't kickboxing no more, buddy. Take those little gay socks off. Hey, let's go.
You don't need ankles here.
There are people that are like that. They're just like, they want to prove that jiu-jitsu is the premium art.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, once you get over a certain belt level,
you realise that it
is interested in that. But there are people that are like,
yeah, totally. It's like, this is a guy who's good at something that I can be, and that's going to boost my ego, sort of thing, because I'm getting fucking smashed every time here.
Yeah, and I'm sure I reckon the same thing. If I turned up to like the MMA or kickboxing sparring,
you'd have some hard rains.
There would be people that would be like,
"Yeah,
I am going to fuck you up, buddy."
Yeah. Oh, black belt, is it? Let's see, shall we?
That's it,
yeah. I guess the further in, you got less to prove, haven't you? You got less to, it's like, whatever, and also I think you develop over the years of going through the belt levels. Especially if you stay at the same gym, and in the kickboxing, for example, like our gym, you're at the same gym. You develop relationships with these people anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I can understand what you mean. So if there's just some guy that you see smashing a bag, and you're getting smacked, and then all of a sudden he tries. He's like, oh god, he's a newbie, and like he's good at that, but I think I'm better than him at this. It's on.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, so. it's a confidence thing, isn't it? That actually kind of keys in with the second question that we got asked, which was...
There's a lot of confidence in this set.
Yeah, I posted the video clip of Nate Diaz having an interview with Bradley Martin.
Well done.
That's his name.
Last time you were called him Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, he's like a sort of fitness influencer. Big guy. I think he's about 250, 260 pounds. So 110, 120 kilos. And his thing is he like sort of interviews people in his podcast, and then he'll, like fighters and different people, and he'll be like, "Do you think you could take me in a fight?"
Oh, so is that a question he asks all of them?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he'll go to places and he'll like offer people out for a wrestle and things like that, and he'll wrestle with people, and invariably they are smaller than him.
Right.
Sometimes they're skilled, sometimes they're not, and that kind of thing. Very rarely do you see him going with someone who's the same size as him, skilled or not skilled. There was a funny clip of a bouncer who obviously does jiu-jitsu, and he goes up against him and he gets tooled up. But
Yeah.
he's got Nate Diaz on his podcast, and he says, "Do you think you could take me in a fight?" And Nate Diaz just sort of like, I can't remember what he exactly says, but he sort of shakes his head and he goes like, "Come on, man."
He says, he just looks at me and says, "Dude, you're a podcaster."
Yeah.
And like he doesn't need to say anything else because we know everything else, don't we?
Yeah.
Like fucking hell.
You couldn't pick a worse person to ask that question to. Because he's not just an MMA. Like, he's known for, like, brawling in the streets and things like that.
He's a fucking high-level black belt. Really high level.
And his, like, if he was on, like, a playing card, like a trump card, his, like, main attributes would be gas tank.
Yeah.
That dog in him.
Toughness.
All
day long.
Like, and in a, like, fight, in a real street fight or an MMA fight, because as much as people don't want to realise, that is pretty much the same thing. If you've got that dog and you've got a gas tank, you're a problem.
Yeah.
If you're never going to give up and you can't be knocked out, I mean, obviously everyone can be knocked out, but he has got a fucking chin on him.
Fuck me. To his own detriment. He just keeps walking. Look at what he did to Conor in his prime.
Yeah.
You know, Conor was fucking throwing bombs at him and he was just eating them. Yeah. And then just swarmed him.
And he doesn't look small now because he's not like fighting.
Yeah,
he looks like he's probably walking around about 200. Like about, you know,
and he's still a triathlete,
kilos.
I believe.
He's a triathlete, so his gas tank's amazing. Like,
yeah. And he's a Diaz.
Yeah.
Like,
you're getting
what are you talking about, mate?
But, and after that, I think he goes like, "Oh yeah, well, look, we should do a bit of training afterwards." And Bradley Martin's like, "Yeah, we'll do that." But then you can imagine just afterwards, like he's gone to the toilet, and then the producer goes over and says, "Yeah, Bradley's not gonna be able to make it to that the training session afterwards," and he's just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it went on a bit longer than we thought, sort of thing. And it's just like got next one to get to. He's fuck that.
But yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I would love to like roll with someone like that kind of level, just to feel it. Obviously, I would be getting smashed in every possible way.
Every time I've rolled with someone like that, and bear in mind I'm a black belt and been training for sort of nearly 13 years or so. There's just levels, mate. There's fucking levels. Some people are just much better than you.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they've been training less time, maybe they've been training more, but they are just much better than you. And you feel it, and you're just like, fuck it.
Yeah, you feel it when you're, you know, I've only had a few experiences similar to that where you're jumping through the gears and they're just flowing around. They're just not even breaking a sweat. It's just, they're beating you 100% in every single way.
Everything you're trying, they're just shutting down, and then you're just getting further away from your goal and closer to their ultimate submission. You can just feel it happen. You just can't do anything about it.
Yeah. It's a mad feeling, isn't it?
It's cool.
And again, it's a respect thing. You finish the roll, you're like, fuck, mate, this really is a superpower, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and I guess you probably always feel that at any level. There's always someone better.
Yeah. There's always, unless you are the top guy in the world, there is always someone.
Then
better.
you're under the top guy in the world for a little while.
Yeah.
And there's a new guy who's got some more, some development of a move or whatever. Man, it's just great. But that's the love of it. It's the chase, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel the same with music. It's not like you don't want to get to the destination. You don't want to get to the point where you're like, well, I know everything. Because you don't. You're never going to get to that. If you do, if you're saying that, then you're wrong and you've got a problem. It's like the fun is just the never-ending chase of the art, isn't it?
Sick.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu always wins.
It does, yeah.
I think we'll call it a day there.
That's a nice way to end it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice philosophical end.
We'll be back, I'm sure, with more CJI updates. We didn't touch on any today, but they're coming out thick and fast, so it's super exciting. We're on Spotify. If you didn't see the last episode and you're tuning in today, we are on Spotify.
Follow us.
follow us. It's a follow
Yeah.
on Spotify. I don't know why they can't like unify that across like all platforms, because it's a subscribe on YouTube. I guess it's a follow on like Instagram and stuff. So follow is probably the most commonly used. But yeah, do that. Probably listen to it like 10 minutes of it, and then listen to the next 10 minutes the next day, and then the next 10 minutes the next day.
Or to bump the numbers up.
Because then we're like getting the numbers bumping up. Don't just listen to it in one go.
Play the game for us.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Do that on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you comment. I think you can comment on Spotify as well.
Can you?
I think so. Share it. This is really important for the algorithm.
Is that right?
Is you sending it to your friends and saying, these guys are fucking twats. There's this bit. Laugh at them. They got Star Wars stuff wrong. Yeah, really get irate about that in the comments. Start a whole thread with you and your mates talking about how shit we are at talking about Star Wars.
There's plenty of people out there that were Star Wars fans. I think you'll find purists.
Yeah, so all of that stuff. Please do it because it really helps us. And we mentioned this on the last podcast, but if you're a videographer and you're looking to get into a really exciting opportunity.
Oh, the exposure. The exposure. We can pay you
your
exposure.
career. This is probably going to launch your career into the stratosphere. If you've got aims of being like a videographer in the jiu-jitsu growing space, we've got an opportunity for you. We can help you
That is the dynamic.
boost your career.
Yeah.
You're not helping us.
No.
We're giving you an opportunity.
Yeah.
So get in touch.
If you get in time, the
There's
queue will be long.
There's probably going to be a long queue. It's probably already gone because we mentioned it in the last episode. This is a week later. It's probably already gone.
I mean,
So
maybe
sorry about
yeah.
that.
And if not,
but still get in touch.
yeah.
All right, but just know.
Maybe if that's the
probably already
case,
gone.
we just if we haven't got someone, just run some trials or something.
Yeah, we'll
Do you
run
know
a
what I
trials
mean?
event. Yeah, you can also make some content for us, and we'll see which one comes out the
We'll
best.
sit on our thrones and pick which one's the best.
Yeah,
You
and
may.
Who makes us look the best?
Yeah. It's a challenge, I think. But
That's a big challenge.
oh dear.
See you next time.
See you next time.
All right, guys, let's bow there and then we'll call it a day.